Hey YouTube, how you guys doing again? I'm Atticus and I'm back with you, and I have another Dark Elves versus Vampire Coast game for you guys. I had a few comments, people saying that they were struggling with this matchup, so I wanted to make a secondary video for you guys, just to, kind of give you some build ideas and hopefully to help you out with this matchup. So for this one, I went a little bit different than my first game. To bring the Supreme Sorceress with a Manticore, I took Lokhir Fellheart, and yeah, you take Lokhir. For one, he's cheap. For two, he's almost impossible to snipe. He's just so tanky. So yeah, and for three, he's just an anti-infantry beast. And since Vampire Coast relies so much on shaft units and infantry units, Lokhir is going to be a lawnmower. He's not going to take any of your micro. He's going to be able to chew through zombies like it's nothing, and it's going to allow you to just focus on other units and other strategies and stuff. So yeah, I really like Lokhir. I think he has if there's a matchup for him, it's in the vampire ones in my opinion. Also, I took a secondary unit of Sorceress of Beast, and of course the Beast is just for the same thing for the Manticore and Flock of Doom. So yeah, like the first game that I casted with that, you still want to have that Manticore option. You're gonna get 2 free Manticores, which is so good at shutting down the Vampire Coast's range contingent. For my front line, I took a mixture of Sisters of Slaughter and Witch Elves. So yeah, that's just my whole front line. And if ever there was units that excel at killing zombies, it's these two guys. And yeah, Sisters of Slaughter can deal with Depth Guard too, if anybody was wondering. Even though the Depth Guard are a lot challenging, I mean it will be a pretty damaging trade. You still will win one-on-one. Mainly because of the poison. That's one of the big factors that helps the Sisters of Slaughter win that. But if you add this Witch Elves and their abilities to cause rampage, and not to mention pressure from like manticores and things like that. Yeah, especially with Lokhir, you'll definitely win that engagement. So yeah, we got a really strong lawn mowing front line. We have a lawn mowing lord. We have a beast sorceress who's going to be doing the manticores. For my cav, I just took 1 unit of Cold One Knight. So these guys are my my one gamble to deal with any crabs and damn knights and things like that if my opponent would have brought that. Also, I brought 1 unit, actually 2 units. There's another one over here in Vanguard. 2 units of Doomfire Warlocks. And one of my viewers had said, like, hey, instead of taking the Cribbis, could you take some Doomfire Warlocks? Well, yeah. In this game, you'll see kind of how that works for me instead of bringing the Cribbis. These guys are really good in this matchup because of their magic damage. They're going to be able to deal with any ethereal units. And also for their physical resist. And thirdly, before their bound spells. So these ones are not the Regent Renown. They're just the regular ones. So that means that their spells are going to be Lesser Doom Bolt and what is the other one called? Soul Blight, which lowers armor and weapon damage. So yeah, they'll really come in handy against things like Depth Guard. Maybe not so much with zombies, but yeah, they're really good flanking tool, and they'll be really good at shutting down the range options of my opponent. Also, I have 3 units of Harpies, guys. So I got 1 up on the hill. So I was thinking he would deploy up here. My 2 here back, and I always seem to pick the wrong corner, so they're gonna have to make the long journey all the way over here. But it's okay, this part of the battle is when the Vampire Coast obviously, is at their strongest at the approach. It's almost like fighting a Tau army. They need to do as much damage as they can before you get in. So, as you can see from my opponent, though, he did take a really elite small army, but it can be kind of deceptive, guys. If you see a small army, but your opponent brings Count Nautilus, keep in mind he's going to have, 3, 4, maybe 5 summons of zombies. So, I mean, it might look small, but yeah, because of this guy right here, you're going to have, a lot of zombies to deal with. So let's just go ahead and look at his build. He did, of course, bring Count Nautilus. He also brought the Shade Raves Gunners and the Ethereal Gunners, and these guys are really, really good at Lord Sniping. So luckily I brought 1 on foot, so it's not going to really be something I had to worry about. He brought himself some halberds, one of them being the Bloody Deck Guard, the Regent of Renown. These guys are, of course, one of the best anti-large units in the game. And he also brought here in the back a normal unit of Depth Guard. He brought the Black Spot, which is the anti-large, armor-piercing, zombie pirate gunnery mob. So yeah, these guys could protect themselves from any cav unit and stuff. And he has another zombie pirate back here in the back, halberds in the back. And then on the top here, of course, he took 2 different handgunners, which is, really strong in the meta right now for the Vampire Coast. I always, just rule of thumb, guys, if you're fighting against the Vampire Coast as the Dark Elves, be sure to bring, some Harpies. Just always assume your opponent will, bring those. And, last but not least, guys, he brought Queen Bess. And on a huge, on a big map like this, Queen Bess is going to be really punishing. It's going to do a lot of damage to us, so we just got to be, kind of just have to tank that damage, especially since my harpies are on the wrong side of the map. So, seeing that he's positioned over there, I'm going to start, repositioning, getting my men facing the right way, and we're going to start, moving up on the approach. I'm going to use this unit of Doomfire Warlocks. I was hoping he wasn't going to see. I was going to try to come around here and try to get into it. But I'm also going to use the Doom Bolt. It does have a lesser Doom Bolt. And as long as my opponent's not moving, it'll at least do a little bit of damage. And we're just trying to take out some of those zombies. My opponent is going to see it, unfortunately, though. But we're able to catch off, we're able to cast the Doom Bolt. Let's go ahead and just look at the damage. That wasn't the best. That was actually pretty underwhelming. He kind of moved out of the way there in the last minute, so... But it was kind of a bad gamble for me too, because now you can see he's going to start returning fire on me, and I'm going to take a lot of damage. It's going to be a while. I mean, look at that one hit from Count Noctis takes him down to half health. But the silver lining of that is all his fire is pretty much focused on those guys. It's allowing these units here to approach unimpeded. You can see that now we're going to be entering Queen Bess's range, and here comes the first shot right here, and we're going to see where it lands. See the damage. And it's going to, land right on my Sisters of Slaughter, which is really unfortunate. It's a really powerful unit. And you can see that my other Doomfire Warlocks were able to get off another Lesser Doom Bolt. But it's just not doing a lot of damage. So now I have to reevaluate using that on that. You would think them and that grouped up that it would. You can see Queen Bess, though, took another shot. It was a swing and a miss, unfortunately for me. And, see over here. Looks like we have some kind of... Oh, that was my Manticore summon. I am going to cast my Manticore. And I'm going to send my first Harpy Rave into here, and I'm just trying to shut those guys down. You can see these two Harpies are going to just be screening out the handgunners. So the whole game I'm not going to have to deal with. Let's go ahead and slow it down here so I don't miss anything. So these two Harpies are just going to be shooting down or chasing those two handgunners the whole game. And so he pretty much just brought these units for nothing, because if they stop, they're going to die. So they'll just be chasing them, and that's just going to remove that threat, off my back. Count Noctis is going to cast his bound spell that creates that little doom bolt that comes from the air, and it is going to break the leadership of these harpies, unfortunately. But it did buy me some time. He is going to get another little zombie summoning right here, and he's just going to try to hold up my men. You see that my Witch Elves are going to dodge a volley of Queen Bess, fortunately for me. You can see over here that my Doomfire Warlocks were able to get into the black spot, but I am going to pull them back there for a minute. We're just looking for an opening, guys. Manticore Summon is going to land right here on Queen Bess. And we're just really trying to shut that down. And you can see that now I'm going to circle around and get my Doomfire Warlocks into his ethereal units. And since these guys cause magic damage, just go ahead and slow it down again so I don't miss anything. Since these guys cause magic damage, as you see right here, they're going to be able to destroy those ethereal guards really quick, especially before he can really respond. And you can see, guys, we're just chasing away his handgunners here. And Harpies are just such a good counter to them, and it just, pretty much just makes it a waste to bring them. So our front lines are going to start to collide now. You can see there is going to be a Wind of Death, but he kind of cast it the wrong way and hit his own men. So I kind of got lucky on that. I think he was trying to lead the target. And you see that my Sisters of Slaughter are now going to get into Queen Bess. Over here, you can see that my other units are starting to come around. We're going to be dealing with the Bloody Reavers, and I am going to get a second Manticore summon. Over here, you can see that Lokhir and the Witch Elves are just chewing through this summoned deckhand mob, and you can see how just fast they're able to cut through them. And over here, my Cold One Knights, I was trying to intercept Count Noctis, but they are going to get kind of caught on these halberds. But I do have a unit of Sisters of Slaughters dealing with them. Now, my opponent does have a unit of the black spot right here, but I'm going to send my secondary Manticore here to land on these guys and just shut them down. And, the way I look at it, guys, is, summoned Manticores are expendable. Even just normal Manticores are just heat-seeking missiles. You send them in, and you forget about them. You just make sure where you send them in counts. So, I'm going to send this unit of Harpies right here to muck up the AI of Count Noctis here. And as you can see right now, we're just engaged on every little front right here. We got Sisters of Slaughters and Witch Elves. Sisters of Slaughters and Witch Elves. And you can see there's going to be another Doom Bolt that's going to land. And he is going to break the leadership of my Cold Ones, which is unfortunate. But we're pretty much everywhere on the map, we have a presence. And we have far superior units everywhere, Witch Elves trading against zombies. Sisters of Slaughters trading against zombies. You can see that we pretty much just shut down Queen Bess. And that's what I was trying to tell you guys. Sisters of Slaughters fighting the Bloody Reavers, and we're winning that engagement. It's just a far superior, unit. You can see that my Cold One Knights and Lokhir are going to get in combat with Count Noctis, and it's a really good battle for me. And we'll be able to wear him down over the course of the battle. especially once these Witcher's Elves are able to deal with these remaining deckhand mobs. And you can see that, I got a unit of Doomfire Warlocks coming back out of routing, and yeah, so I mean, it's just really coming down to, we have the Vampire Coast where we want him. He doesn't have a single unit that's free, that's not being attacked, which means he can't provide any ranged overwatch to protect his men. And when it comes down to a grind like this is what the Dark Elves excel at. So yeah, let's just go ahead and look over here. We've completely destroyed Queen Bess, and we've dealt with all the zombies over here. So now we actually have one little pocket I forgot. But we're going to send these Witch Elves over here. We're going to try to rampage Count Noctis so he can't focus anybody. And just look at Lokhir right here, guys. He hasn't taken any damage from this engagement. And this kind of shows you why he's a really good lord for this matchup. He's not going to get sniped. And people bring Count Noctis for the sniping potentials. Since he has such a high armor rating, pretty much an artillery piece in his arm, it doesn't really do him much good when he has a foot lord. And you can see now we've chewed through these infantry units. We've pretty much finished up these ones, and all it really remains now is just Count Noctis. And yeah, he can't heal himself, which is unfortunate, but it's only a matter of time now. The game is pretty much in our in our hands. I'm gonna have this one last unit of Sisters of Slaughter come chasing off the black spot here, and yeah, they can run all day, but you're not gonna get away from these sisters, especially when they're hungry for zombie blood. And the remaining of my force now is just going to collapse on Count Noctis. He is going to get some summons off, trying to buy himself some time. But yeah, I mean, if ever there was units that were meant to, destroy summons, we have that. So yeah, it's just going to be now just a grindy, as we just finish off Count Noctis here. You can see how quick Sisters of Slaughter are able to deal with the black spot. I mean, they are anti-large, but yeah, they don't have anything for these beautiful gals here. And yeah, if we just look over here, guys, the whole game, this is what I was trying to tell you about. You can see the Harpies have just been chasing away the deck droppers. So yeah, that's just a huge waste of money, for the Vampire Coast player. And you can see the same thing over here. My opponent is going to wise up to it, and I think he's just going to land his men in the melee. At this point, he's thinking, what does he have to lose? Because you can see the leadership as Noctis is breaking. And yeah, I'll just spare you guys having to see the finale here, because all it is just me wearing him down. And he's very tanky, so it does take a minute. He is going to drop his deck droppers into the melee here, and he just keeps getting summons. And admittedly, it takes a second for the Dark Elves to be able to chew through that, but it is going to be a win for us. So yeah, I mean, so what can you take from this, guys? Of course, Harpies to chase away handgunners, Witch Elves and Sisters of Slaughter to be your lawnmowers, Lokhir, being a really good option for this matchup. You saw how the Doomfire Warlocks were able to get into his missile line. The Manticore summon, how it's just a suicidal, use it as a heat-seeking missile to shut down, any artillery, any range factions and things like that. And yeah, when you do all those steps, I think it's a pretty reliable way of dealing with the Vampire Coast. So yeah, that should be game here. Another win for the Druchii, and we'll go ahead and look at the in-screen breakdown and talk about some of the keys for my success in this. So yeah, that's 2 games now that you guys have seen against the Vampire Coast of 2 different kinds of builds. You see the similarities, but you see now some of the different options that you could take. So I hope that you're getting the theme of it, though. And that should be it. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at the in-screen breakdown here. Alright, so yeah. What stands out to you guys when you see this? I mean, look at the killing numbers of the Witch Elves and Sisters of Slaughter. Compared to, the dreaded Depth Guard. The numbers just speak for themselves. You saw what the Harpies did, and yeah, I kind of already explained to you, the rest of the units. So as for my opponent and this particular build, very Death Starry. Against the Dark Elves, I think your best bet is to try to. It's a lot of psychological warfare, trying to catch your opponent by surprise. Like what I would have done is brought a lot of large units, maybe brought 2 rotting Prometheans or Leviathans and things like that. Because look, I only had 1 large unit. Things like that. A lot of people, a lot of times in the meta right now, it's just, to go Depth Guard and Halberds or a lot of ranged units and things. And against the Dark Elves, that's just not really, in my opinion, a good way of doing that. But I'm not trying to teach you guys how to play Vampire Coast. I was just giving you a little insight on that. So, anyways, I've blabbed on a little bit. I kind of lost my train of thought on the end there. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that helps. And yeah, stay tuned for more content. It's Atticus. I'll see you next time.